Hi. Today I'm looking at this particular brand of cameras, which, as you can see, looks pretty much like the market leader, GoPros. Now, this one is made by a company called SJCAM, as you can see here. This is a Chinese company, and this is a very good camera, actually. And from what I've heard, Chinese manufacturers are making knockoffs of the SJCAM. So you'll have a lot of duplicate SJCAMs in the market. This particular one I've had for some time. This is the SJ4000, and it's the Wi-Fi model. And I've had it for some time. And you get very, very good pictures, very good quality camera, very good build quality. I like it. And this one is the latest model, top of the line. This is the SJ5000X Elite. This is also a Wi-Fi model. And there are some differences between the two. This is what I've picked up very recently, actually. And I've had a beef with them about one particular aspect of this particular camera. And it should be, in my mind at least, a pretty simple firmware update. And I've written to them, and they either didn't know about it, or anyway, they said that they were looking into it and they would rectify it. And I would have thought that they would have done it on the 5000X Elite. I'm not getting into the cameras, what it can do, the quality of pictures, the quality of video. There are enough and more information out there on YouTube and otherwise on the SJCAM 4000, the 5000 Plus, the 5000X Elite, how it compares with similar other models, with the GoPros, for instance. So I'm not going to get into that. But there are certain improvements which they have made between the 4000 and the 5000 Plus, 5000X Elite. The first thing that you can notice is there are a couple of LED lights here. There are no LED lights here. So the moment you press that, it comes on. You have a nice bright LED light, so you know the camera is on. And this starts blinking when you're recording, so you know it's recording. Unfortunately, on this one, you don't have an LED light up front. You do get a beep, but you don't have an LED light. And both have got touchscreens. As you can, both have got LCD screens. They don't have touch screen. These are not touch, but there's a fair bit of information on both of them as to what is happening. Again, there's an LED lights at the back. There's LED lights on the top. So yeah, so there's certain improvements, and this is the 4000. Some improvements in the firmware in the 5000. I'll just take you through that. So you press the front power button, that is also the mode button. So you press it, this is currently on video mode. You can press it, you get into picture mode. You go again and you get this nice screen which has got some quick icons. You have video, photo, video lapse, slow record, which is slow motion I suspect. Photo lapse, there's a burst mode, there's long exposure, and you just use the up and down keys up here to make a selection. It goes there, TV guide, underwater mode, motion detection. If you can use it as a dash cam in your car, playback, and then you have the setup. So when you select setup, there are a whole lot of options which are available, and it's really full of features. So to quickly go through resolution, this one has got up to 4K 24 FPS, but it's not true 4K. It's interpolated 4K. But it does have 2K. It's got 1080p 60 FPS, 1080p 30, all the way to VGA 240. So you select whichever one. 1080p 60 FPS is what I would go for. You got loop recording. You can set that to 3, 5, 10, so on and so forth. You got the field of view. Again, it's currently off for whatever reason. It should have given me narrow, wide, etc. Anyway, WDR, you can set it to on or off, so I'll set it to on. There is a gyro sensor. That's a new thing which has happened compared to the... I accidentally pressed this, I thought it was recording. So anyway, so it's got a gyro sensor, which is an improvement over the 4000. The 4000 does not have a gyro sensor, and the gyro sensor in this works pretty good. You got audio, which you can set to on or off. The volume, timestamp whether you want it or not, TV mode, OSD mode. Video file format on this one you can go into either MP4 or MOV. You got bit rates, you can set it to high, medium or low. Set it to high to get better quality in your videos. Double file, you can store a raw file and a double file. I don't know what that sound was. Some kind of sound which happened somewhere. Okay, that's gone. The other one's gone into auto shut off mode. Power on record, image size, it goes up to 12 Mbps, 12 megapixels. Quality, again, fine, normal, economy. Sharpness, contrast, white balance, color, ISO, EV, RAW. You can shoot in RAW if you want. There's also a distortion correction which is not there at the 4000. So there's a distortion correction which you can set to on or off. Let's set it to on. And then you get into date and time. I'll just come back to date and time because that's where my beef is. There's an auto power off, all these beeps that you hear, which is the keypad tone, you can set to off, so now you won't hear it anymore. Light set is 3, 2, 1 off. I really don't know what that means, but anyway, it's there. Screensavers, frequency, you can rotate. If you press on, then you can shoot with the camera upside down. So that's another feature, and this is also there in the 4000. And so let's set it to off. Logo watermark if you want the SJCAM logo on your pictures. The variety of languages. So you can choose any language that suits you best. Let's stay with English. This is the Wi-Fi ID and the password. Delete, format, default setting, version, so on and so forth. This version is 1.4.5S. I'll have to check whether there's a new firmware which has come up. They're pretty good with new firmware updates, so I'm quite happy with the support that one gets with the SJCAM. Let's go back to my beef, which is the date and time. So if you look at this, the default date is 2016, January the 1st, and I prefer the format to be month, date, and year. Date, month, and year, DDMMYY. So let's just correct the date. Today, oh boy. Okay, today is the 1st of February of 2017. Let's leave the date aside for the moment, the time aside for the moment. So now we've got date and time. So you got to see, it's 1st of February 2017. Okay, now for my problem. Okay, now I've gone back to video mode, so we have all kinds of data. We can start shooting almost immediately. Now, if I run out of batteries, for instance, the battery life is not too. It's got a 900 mAh battery. It lasts, if you're lucky, about an hour. So if you're shooting for the day, you'll need to change the batteries multiple times. So therefore, what you'll need to do is switch it off. Pretty good. And then there's the battery compartment. Again, it's a little clumsy. So you need to pull this tab out and then pull the baby out, this door. And you got a little tab for the battery. Just hold on to that and pull it out. And then you can replace it with a fully charged battery and put this particular battery which on charge for your next battery change. All right. So far so good, no problems. Then I put the battery in. I leave the door out for the moment. And I switch it on. Great. Now let's go back to our settings, which is here, and we go to setup and go to date and time. There you go. Oh, it still says 1st of February. Now what happens very often, and this is something that I've faced, that when you're changing the battery, the date resets to the default date. Yeah. So let me just switch it off and try that again. Whenever there is a mechanic who can possibly repair the particular item that is misbehaving. At the sight of the mechanic, it starts working again. Now, since I'm shooting this and I wanted to show you that problem with both the 4000 and the 5000 of the date resetting into factory values, which is the default setting of January 1st, 2016, it didn't change it. So we're going to give it another shot. I'm going to give it 30 seconds before I put the battery back in. I think that's about 30 seconds. Let's put it back in and check what happens. There we go, it's switched on. Nice SJCAM logo, 5000X Elite logo, and we are in. And to go back to setup, there we go. Now to select the date and time function. There it is. Boom, 2016. 1/1/2016. Now what does that mean? And it shouldn't mean anything, because whatever the date is you're shooting, and you still got your clip. Yes, I got my clip, but the way the files are saved on this camera is based on the date and time. So if I've been shooting on the 1st of February and I've set my dates and everything else, and I've taken 200 clips, 30 seconds to 3 minutes to 3 hours, or whatever the duration of the clips are, and I've got multiple clips, they are chronologically arranged in the folder based on the date and the time. Then I run out of batteries and I put in a new battery. It resets to the 1st of January 2016, and now all my files are based on January 1st, 2016. Then I don't change the date. I change the battery, but I don't change the date once again. Again, whenever I'm saving any file, any clip that I've shot, suddenly it's back to 2016. So then when you come back at the end of the day or the end of the week or the end of your holiday and you're downloading all your files, all your clips, all your video footage onto your computer, for instance, you don't know the chronology. So all the pictures which are 2016 1st of January are together, regardless of which day they were shot, and they are not chronological. How difficult is it for SJCAM to just this bug so that every time I take out my battery, my date does not reset to January the 1st, 2016. In the last firmware update, what I saw was they had reset the default date to January 16, which used to be January 2015. They've now set it to January 2016, but all they have to do is figure this one out so that I don't need to keep changing the date every time I change my battery. Now, I have a feeling that everything else that we had changed has, again, gone back to default settings. Now, what all did we change? We did not change the resolution. Loop recording, WDR is something we had changed. Okay, it's still at on. Gyro sensor we had set to on. Audio was set to on. Volume, TV mode, video file format was MP4. So okay, so everything, this was high. So everything else is pretty much okay. But what has happened is the date changes. Now, because the date is changing, I have no way of figuring out, unless I rack my brains really, really, really hard to figure out which clip comes after which one. All they have to do is figure this one out so that this date remains the current date and does not go back to the default January 1, 2016. That's my major beef with this particular camera. And I thought that they would be upgrading this firmware to rectify this problem. I have written to them, and they did tell me that they were looking at it. But yeah, obviously they don't seem to have done that. So that's my beef with this camera. Otherwise, it's a bloody good camera. Oh, the other thing which is there, whichever mode you're on, now I'm on video mode, so I can press the down, up, down buttons here, and I get a list of functions which belong to that particular format. If I go out of that and I go into, let's say, picture mode, and I press this, you get a different set of menus, which is pretty interesting. I don't need to scroll down all those icons and find setup and then scroll up and down to figure out what's going on. And this, of course, has got a list of other other icons which I can set. And if I want a more detailed one, I can get it set up. So that's pretty much it. So what was I trying to do? I was trying to show you the record. So the moment I press this, I need to insert the card. So it doesn't have a SD card yet. It takes up to, I think, 32. Some SD cards, I think it'll take up to 128. I'm not sure about that, but 32 certainly this will take pretty easily, and that's where it'll go in. So yeah, that's the beef that I wanted to talk to you about this particular camera. Otherwise, a fantastic camera, and it served me well. The 4000 at least. I haven't used this out in the field. So the 4000 and the 5000 plus X Elite, the other two that I'm going to be using for my next expedition. And had it not been for that little bug on the date and time and how I save my files, I would be absolutely happy about this particular camera. So anyway, hope they fix that soon, because that's an issue, because the battery lasts about an hour, and if you're scrolling up and down, changing all your the menu options and the date and the time and whatever else, and that takes away 10 minutes. That also takes away 10 minutes of your battery time, but 10 minutes of your shooting time. So that's not such a good idea. SJCAM, good work, but just fix this little bug, please. Let me have a chronological list of clips so that I don't need to keep resetting my date and time. Thanks a lot. See you guys.